Hi, everyone, and welcome to the penultimate talk of Virtually 2023. A big thanks to Nikki Swain for a great talk earlier. We're going to have all the recordings from all this week's talks available on our YouTube channel shortly after the conference ends a bit later on today. As mentioned previously, my clear text are providing live captions. You can access these by clicking on the closed caption button at the bottom of your Zoom window, or alternatively, we've provided a stream text link in the chat for a fully adjustable page of captions. Up next, we have Abhipreeti Chauhan, Praneeth Reddy Chada, and Jyothi Reddy Gogireddy, who are all accessibility analysts at Google. They're going to be taking you through what their roles entail and the latest innovations at Google. Please do get involved in the discussion and say hello in the chat. As always, we'd love to know where in the world you're tuned in from. And make sure your chat settings are switched to everyone and not just hosts and panelists. And that way, everyone will be able to see your messages. If you've got any questions, please submit them using the Q&A box. I will try and get through as many as I can at the end. And yeah, over to you guys.
Hello, everybody. It's a great day, and we all are excited here to be a part on this amazing GARD event. So let's start about it. So the topic of today's talk is accessibility and Google Play. How accessibility analysts shape a more inclusive play. Our today's agenda has six topics. So which is introduction, what accessibility analysts do, accessibility in our org and play. And then we have Android pre-launch report. Then we have resources, and we have our accessibility discovery center. Here we go with our stories. My name is Abhipreeti Chauhan. I have around 9 years of my total work experience. And as a Google accessibility analyst, I am responsible for the Google Play product line products execution. I would like to begin with my brief visual description. Currently, I'm wearing a black t-shirt, which has a Google logo name in Braille written on the t-shirt. I'm wearing glasses. I have brown colored hairs, and I'm sitting in a room with the gray background. To be honest, uh, to start with my story, I would like to say I had no idea about softwares, industry, IT, computers. I come from a finance background, and I was searching for jobs in the commerce, accounts, and in the finance background only. I started my career with call centers and BPOs. I worked in for a couple of years, and then I joined one organization, Wipro Technologies, which is a IT service-based company, wherein I was working as a working as a you can say contractor for Microsoft for accessibility, and that is where I was introduced to accessibility, and I was amazed to see how amazing it is because I have worked with end users there. I was working people who are the screen reader users. I have worked with people who were with the low vision or with the color deficiency, and so many personas people were there. What amazed me when I used to look at them, the way they are doing amazingly, the way they are doing their day-to-day regular routine work, nothing is stopping them. They work, if they want to go to the cafe, lunch, want to sit around, they are so independent. The reason they are so independent because we technology is working a lot on this so that we can bridge that gap and provide equal opportunities and equal right to everyone the way they want to do things in their life independently. So this is how I have got into accessibility, and it's been an year. I'm working with Google Play, and I am feeling so privileged, and I feel great opportunity to be in this event with Naminsa to talk on this event as well, where I'm connecting with so many people and talking about accessibility so that we can be more inclusive and we can do a lot of community contribution together and make the word accessible. Now, over to Jyothi.
Thanks, Abhipreeti. That's a wonderful story. Uh, Hi everyone. My name is Jyothi Reddy Gogireddy, a lead accessibility analyst for Google. So I have been in Google Play for since 9 years, and I have an experience of 18 years. So to give a brief description of the picture of myself on the screen, I am wearing a blue shirt and spectacles. And coming to my professional experience, as I said, I have 18 years of experience in IT industry. And initially, I have started my career as a UX designer, and along I'm followed by a front-end developer, where I used to perform both roles, like designer and developer, where the job role used to demand multitasking there. So, wherein I have then moved to Cognizant, which is an information technology service provider and consulting company. So there I have been introduced to people with disabilities along with the term accessibility, so which has inspired me a lot. I have also worked with people with disability in accessibility projects as an accessibility developer from there. Then from there, I have started learning more about accessibility guidelines such as WCAG and many more. Then I started exploring more on accessibility. Then I started focusing more on accessibility and worked as an accessibility developer also for a few years. And then also along with accessibility development, I have also worked as an accessibility consultant for some of the projects. Later on, I have worked as a dedicated accessibility consultant at Cognizant, then followed by HCL. So these are IT technology services and consulting companies. So those are the companies where I have been working as a accessibility consultant. So currently, I am working as a lead accessibility analyst for Google Play, and that's about me. Over to Praneeth to share his story.
Thanks, Abhi and Jyoti. Hello, everyone. Myself, Praneeth Reddy Chada, working as an accessibility analyst for Google Play products. I have a picture of myself on the screen wearing a black hoodie, and I have my eyeglasses on, and of course, smiling. So I started working in accessibility space in 2016. So it's approximately past 7 years I've been working on accessibility, continuously exploring, understanding, learning more on the accessibility, and also had an opportunity to teach others on accessibility. So I started my career with Cognizant, an IT technology services and consulting company, where I was trained on multiple testing disciplines, manual testing, performance, security, accessibility, etc., etc. And then, fortunately, I was given with an accessibility project, and since then the journey has begun. Honestly, it was hard learning accessibility at the beginning. You know how the screen reader works, listening to it continuously, and the tough part, understanding the WCAG. So I began to learn the ropes slowly, muddling myself through various resources and blogs available online. It wasn't so easy in the beginning. And in the process, over the time, something changed, as a part of corporate social responsibility. So we had an opportunity to engage with the users and engage with the users with disabilities to help them learn using the web with the assistive technology. I've met with a couple of people who use screen reader there, and working together with them and listening to their experiences and the challenges that they face on daily basis in the web. It's kind of truly inspiring and made me realize the impact, and it was basically inspiring in so many ways, so that actually gave the required motivation to learn more and work more in accessibility field. And over a career span of 5 years in Cognizant, I joined DQ Systems, a digital accessibility company, which I would like to call a major advancement in my career. Having a opportunity to work in with subject matter experts all around you, so much to learn and explore, and it was a great learning experience working there. And after spending a rich 1.5 year in DQ, I joined Google as an accessibility analyst. It's a nice opportunity to speak with all of you on the day of Global Accessibility Awareness Day. Thank you. Over to you, Abhipreeti.
Well, thank you so much, Jyoti and Praneeth, for giving brief detail about your experience and the journey, how we have into the accessibility industry now. So, there's one thing in common, I would say, between three of us. Organizations, these different organizations provided us the opportunity and, most importantly, the users with whom we have worked with, experienced, they have inspired us. So, it's the users who inspired us. Let's learn more about what accessibility analysts do. Let's go through what we as an accessibility analyst do in the Google right now. We represent the viewpoint of the users. We assist teams to become independent in accessibility. As an analyst, we obviously do reviews, assessments, heuristic evaluations, and in addition to these fundamental responsibilities, with the viewpoint of the users with the disabilities such as visual, physical, speech, auditory, or neurological across the product groups that we work with and the other teams in Google. If we say why this is quite necessary that we communicate the various needs and requirements of users who are using our features and ensuring that build our products by considering those requirements. And also why we assist teams to become independent, to assist different teams like Gmail team, we have a Google search team, Google Map team, maybe YouTube team, ads team, in becoming independent so that they can do the accessibility evaluation and implement the process, can create and deliver training so that teams can carry out their own evaluation considering accessibility in mind as an important point. Now let's look at other important viewpoints. We also help in procedure and guidance. We also help in creating and maintaining the required guidance. So, what is the required guidance? Procedures of accessibility, the checklist, and the cross functional teams like user experience, designer teams, or we have software engineers team, maybe a quality assurance team. So, each team that has the required guidance and the resources at hand to ensure they follow the accessibility in their work. Not just this, we do cross collaboration with product teams too, like with the design teams, functional team, to make sure that accessibility issues are taken care ahead in advance and software releases can be done smoothly without any blockage. We do make sure we engage and do have the feedbacks. We are involving with the disability community. We gather feedback from the real end users. Which help us to learn more about the real concerns to enhance our product accessibility experience. Community contribution, it helps us a lot, and especially in Google, to make a Google a better place. We get involved a lot in the contribution for the community and accessibility advocacy efforts internally and externally that will help us maintain and improve our culture and operations. Since accessibility is a part of Google's mission, let's talk about Google mission. Google mission statement is our mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. It is important to keep reminding ourselves at Google missions, which is we can organize it and accessibly make it useful. This mission is important because it helps us to understand the purpose of Google and how it can be used to make a positive impact of the world. It inspires us to creative and innovative. We can know that we are working towards a meaningful goal. Not just this, it motivates us to come up with a new and innovative ways to achieve it. So let's keep reminding ourselves of Google missions that it is most important for us as an individual and it is important to the world as well. Let's talk about Google's commitment as well. Here's a statement which is from our CEO Sundar Pichai. Accessibility is a part of company's mission and is an essential part of the values. And for us, a problem will only be solved when it is solved for everyone. And as long as there are barriers for some, there is still a lot of work to be done. Given how much our products work to improve people's daily productivity, communication, access to information, and Google has committed to make accessibility a core consideration from the earliest stages of the product design through release. And this is a big commitment that we all need to work to fulfill because it's about shifting our culture and the way we approach our everyday work life. Now, let's go through the accessibility process that we have in our organization in Google Play. Over to Praneeth.
Thank you, Abhipreeti. About Google Play, Google Play, many of you know, largest mobile app and digital content store in the world with over 1 billion monthly active users. Google Play provides all Android users with the latest apps, games, and books. So, in simple terms, if I have to explain, Play Store is that app on your Android device where we find, install the apps, games, books of our interest. So, our mission is to connect everyone to outstanding digital experiences by creating the best discovery and distribution platform. We have various products at Google Play. We have Google Play Books, we have Google Play Games, and for the developer community, we have Google Play Console. Let's see the actual mission for us at Google Play. Accessibility is a key focus for all our new features across Google Play. So every feature or the update which is going to the app has to be tested for accessibility before we release it to all our users. So in Google Play, across the products, let's say for Play Store in Android or the Play Store in the web, the Play Books, Play Games, and Play Console for the developer community, etc. So all the new features, all the new UI updates, all the new work that we are doing will be released, and before releasing it will be tested for accessibility. So for us, accessibility is a key concern from the earliest stages of conception through the product launch. So we do the early design reviews. We have the automated testing capabilities during the development phase, which are available to our developers. And we, of course, do manual testing and analysis, which me, Jyothi, and Abhipreeti are part of. And we also have the usability studies, etc. So more importantly, we test and incorporate the feedback from the real users through the studies and programs. Like there is a program called Trusted Tester Program and user experience researchers. We have internal UX researchers who work with disability organizations and who do these studies to get the collective feedback from the community, which we then use to shape our products more accessible and useful. So in the earlier slide, you have listening to me talking about that we start our process right from the design stage. In fact, much before than that. So focusing on design reviews has been the main focus. It's a simple question like why accessibility important is in design. For us, accessibility starts from design. I mean, in fact, before the design itself. So while we believe that testing in each stage is equally important, starting accessibility from the design stage, also known as the shift left terminology in the development lifecycle, is essential for us to build the accessibility features or products right from the start. So once we incorporate the accessibility requirements right from the design, we find very less iterations down the life cycle. We do have multiple benefits of accessibility starting at design. I mean, it's one of the best way to make our apps usable, inclusive. We can encounter fewer critical issues down the line. Considering accessibility in the earlier stages, like the design and development, it obviously saves the time which is spent later on the QA stages. And it's the best way to create accessible and usable designs for everyone. So we have different categories of disabilities: vision, hearing, mobility, speech, and cognitive. So when we are saying that we do have design as one of the primary key areas of focus. So how we do that, essentially, so one of the way that we try to do this is with the personas. Personas are important in accessibility because they help the designer and developer understand the needs of the users with disabilities. One way we do that is we often, focus on 5 accessibility personas. We know, although this is certainly not the full list. So people with vision loss, blind or low vision, as a picture presented on the screen, we see a blind man using a laptop. And then hearing loss can be deaf or hard of hearing. And we see a woman communicating in sign language in front of the laptop. Also consider mobility disabilities, hand tremors, and for those who use the wheelchairs. So in the picture we have on the slide, we see a man sitting on the wheelchair looking at the cell phone. We have speech disabilities, deaf speech or stuttering or Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, etc. So we see someone with cerebral palsy using a cell phone as a support, and cognitive disabilities, dyslexia to autism or Down syndrome. In the picture, we have a small child with Down syndrome looking at the laptop. As I said earlier, this list is not so exhaustive, but it's a good start. Personas, we believe that because personas help designers to and developers to identify the potential accessibility problems early in the design process, and it certainly helps to create more inclusive design culture. We do this by talking to the people from their disabilities, talking to people with disabilities, learning from their experiences, and then we actually believe in a mantra, nothing about us without us. So without actually collaborating with the disability and wider accessibility communities, we will never know what the real problems are, not what the useful solutions are. So if you're listening to me talking about the design process, the testing, involving different type of personas in the design. So what are the few quick things that we ask ourselves when we develop design and develop the features? So here is an example of the questions that we usually ask ourselves during the design and development. We have a picture of Google Play on the screen. So let's say that we are developing a new feature, maybe the UI of the Play Store. So we have to think about, like, for non-sighted users, is the feature accessible by screen reader, talkback, or if it is another Google product, for example, Gmail or something that is also used on other platforms like iOS, it's a voiceover. So for low user, and we also ask for low vision users mobility. We making sure all our content is scalable for someone who use the magnification service or who depends upon different font and display sizes? Are all the interactive controls accessible by someone who is using the switch access, for example? Whether voice access users can control the app, they can search to the Play Store, they can navigate and install the apps just with their voice input. So in addition to these, we also verify other important aspects like the color contrast and how the Braille is supporting when it's connected with TalkBack, etc. So doing all this, we can ensure that we have achieved that the technical accessibility which is required, from the design standpoint, from the developer standpoint, the from the testing side. We can make sure that we are meeting all the requirements and then done. But technical accessibility is often not always usability. So we also do usability assessments for all our Play products. We do have internal UX teams, user experience research teams, to conduct these studies on usability, and we have our internal standards and processes in measuring the usability. So as we try to make all our products and features accessible, one of the key areas would be education. I mean, not only for Google, I mean, it's true for across the organizations who want to have this accessibility culture cultivated into their design and development programs. Education and upskilling is one of the key areas, and especially education and upskilling in accessibility is essential for all the teams so that they can learn to do the right thing themselves. So we have internal courses, we have internal process and tools to help wider teams, for example, the product managers, the user experience designers, the interaction designers, the software engineers, or accessibility analysts like us, to upskill ourselves in accessibility and know how we can make sure that we build the right accessible products from the beginning. So we are trying our best to make our platform accessible. We as a Play Store, we always try to make our platform accessible. But what next? We also host a billion of apps, and there are millions of third-party developers. So how we are also supporting the third-party developers to make sure that they implement the accessibility in all of the new Android applications that are publishing on the Play Store. So the solution is pre-launch report. Jyothi will be talking more on the pre-launch report. Over to you, Jyothi.
Thanks, Praneeth, for sharing the information on how accessibility is a key focus for us. Now, let's go into details of pre-launch reports, which we have it in Play Console, which Praneeth was explaining in the earlier slides, along with the Play products. So, what is a pre-launch report? So, Google's Play pre-launch report is a report to identify the accessibility issues in your app before they affect your users. So it is a test on a range of Android devices to learn more about your app's accessibility. So let's see what we have in pre-launch report. So it's a report which is generated when an application file is uploaded to the when an application file is uploaded to the release channel using Play Console. So then you might ask what are the requirements to run this on Play Console. So there is no special setup required for accessibility testing to run this report. So every application file which is there with you that is uploaded to is automatically tested when you upload it to the Play Console, and the accessibility findings are included in the launch report. So when you come uh, to pre-launch report, you can see three different pages in a pre-launch report. Those are overview, details, and settings. So let us go deep into what is overview, what is details, and settings of pre-launch report. So overview section is a section where it provides a summary of any unique errors, warnings, and minor issues you find during your testing. And coming to details, details is a section which shows a detailed report of each of the four categories, which are summarized in the overview, which we discussed earlier. So it also includes screenshots of your app across different devices when you run the report. And coming to settings, that's a section which can be used to customize your pre-launch report and make the findings more relevant to your app. So as we discussed regarding pre-launch report details, overview and settings, let us now go deep into what we have in the details page. So pre-launch report details page lists down all the findings along with the screenshots. If you see the screen on the slide, you have findings along with the screenshot, and each category is a heading with the number of unique issues per severity level. So there is a yeah, we can see unique issues per severity level, which is marked in the screenshot in the slide. So now let us look at a list of different accessibility issues we can find and figure out on pre-launch report. So we have four list of items which we can find with the pre-launch report. Those are content labeling, touch target, implementation based issues, and low contrast. So coming to content labeling, when content labeling issues are listed out to identify whether elements have content labels for the screen readers to convey the meaning of the element. So coming to touch target size, it is to identify whether elements in your app meet the recommended touch target sizes or not. And implementation based issues to identify layout issues, which can affect users with different motor impairments. And the last one is low contrast, which is to identify whether colors in your app have low contrast, which can make them harder to be viewed. So these are the four categories accessibility issues which you can find generate in pre-launch report. And when you, for example, let us go through one example from the list which we have discussed earlier, like from content labeling, touch target, implementation, and low contrast. Let us go to one of the example like touch target size, which we have kept it in the slide. So when you click on the screenshot cluster of one of the issue, you will, that will be triggered, goes to a more details page on each issue with specifications of the device and the path of the element. It also shows the recommendation on how to fix the issue, and it also displays the number of places the issue is occurring. So these findings and recommendation can be used to track down the accessibility issues, and then you can fix them accordingly. So you can always, after fixing the bug, you can re-trigger a new run of pre-launch report by uploading a fresh APK. Like after you fix the issue and confirming that the findings do not reappear, then you can upload a fresh APK and then run the same report and see there are no issues in it. So this is how you upload an APK and run the report and see the issues, encounter the issues, and then find the recommendations for that issue and then fix it, re-upload the fresh APK and then confirm that there is no findings are there. So now I know it's a lot of content now which we have discussed about PLR content to understand and follow. But to make it easier, we also have a documentation and tools which are available to publicate, because what I have told so far, you might not remember further. You might wanted to go and refer to some uh, documentation to refer back. So we also have Google Play Academy to refer different courses, and Android developer accessibility to refer documentation for developers, and tools for automated testing to refer accessibility scanning. And as an example, the Android website for developers has courses, guides, tools, and process available to the app creators, as well as courses and articles. So this is what about creating accessibility apps. And then let us go through some of the video series which we have discussed and released on YouTube Android Developers channel. So we have Playway accessibility video series on YouTube Android Developers channel, and many more on the way in coming years. We are trying to um, make more videos on play accessibility. So with these videos, we are doing our part to make engineers aware of accessibility and how to avoid accessibility issues and how to fix the accessibility issues if encountered. So we have the video series in the list, such as what is PLR, which we have discussed in earlier slides, and how can it help to create accessibility apps, and fixing labels in PLR, and fixing color contrast issues in PLR, accessibility services and how users interact with them. And we also have few videos on permanent, temporary, and situational disabilities, explaining permanent, temporary, and situational disabilities. And we also have a video on what can make or break someone's user experience. So please do check the videos to get a detailed description of each one of them. Yeah, and over to Abhipreeti to share more details on educating teams across Google. Oh, and more about Accessibility Discovery Center, which we have in London. Over to Abhipreeti.
Well, thank you so much, Jyoti and Praneeth, for sharing details about PLR and other organization process. That was really helpful. Thank you so much. So we would love to talk about educating team across Google and beyond. So what do we mean by this? Educating team across Google and beyond, it is important because we believe it can help to create more inclusive environment for everyone. When teams are educated about accessibility, it doesn't need to be only development team or testing team. It needs to be all the teams involved in creating that product. When they have understanding about accessibility, they are better and able to understand the need of the users with disabilities, and they make changes to the products and services. Google offers a variety of training on accessibility practices. This training is available to all Google employees, regardless of the role. Also, we provide resources on accessibility. They are available to employees and to the public as well. For example, we have a lot of uh, we have YouTube videos, we have blogs, and academy. Google is creating a culture of accessibility within the company. This is being done by creating an environment where everyone is encouraged to think about accessibility. How do we do more? Let's see in our next slide. So this is Accessibility Discovery Center. This we have launched in last year in December. The Accessibility Discovery Center in London is a space where engineers, researchers, product teams, and partners can build new kinds of accessible technologies to remove more of the barriers that people or disability they are facing every day. In a more way, I could say that the center is located in the heart of the London at King's Cross Square, Pencross Square, and it is open to anyone who is interested in learning more about accessibility. The center has a variety of interactive exhibits and it also offer a range of training and support services. ADC Center London is valuable resource for anyone who is working to make the world more accessible. It is a place where people can learn about latest assistive technologies. It is also a place where people can collaborate with others to make a difference. So let me introduce this picture. In this, we have Christopher Patnoy, who is the EMEA lead for Health and Inclusive Accessibility and Disability. And in this picture, we have 4 sections in our lab, which is a research lab, a workshop area, we have game stations, and we have assistive equipments. Now let's look more in detail. ADC London, what it is and who is it for? This is for, we do the research needs here, we do the technology needs here, we have game stations, we are doing collaboration with community. What do we do with research needs? We bring people with disability to Google to do the research on our products. We do bring researchers to Google to share out info in a monthly broadcast. Most important, we empower Googlers to improve their products. For technology needs, we teach about assistive technology for the major demographic like blind, low vision, deaf, hard of hearing, mobility, dexterity, and cognitive. We're trying to reduce the biasness and raise empathy of people with disability by using video games. That's correct. We have gaming stations here wherein we have placed a video, a screen where people, the children's kids with disability are playing the games and they are playing much better than what we are playing because it's not about the disability. It's about not making that game enabled. So this is what we want to focus, and we want to say that it's a practice and it's the constant deal which someone does, and they can do everything in a better way. Likewise, not just the work, the profession, the environment, the stairs, lifts, company, everything we are making accessible. Likewise, the games also. And ADC is open to the everyone. It's open to the community, open for schools, business leaders, community leaders, and advocacy organization as well. And we have external partners engaged with us, like RNIB, Royal National Institute of Blind, Royal National Institute of Deaf People, and some organizations like Everyone Can. So it is really exciting sharing on this amazing day, which is God. And we would love to introduce and we would love to invite everyone to visit this space. Please contact adclondon at google.com. We are also open for our external community. Feel free to sign up and bring your teams here to visit the ADC London, which is in Google office near King's Cross. Thank you so much, everyone.
Amazing. Thanks all. What a awesome talk, and yeah, absolutely loved the Accessibility Discovery Centre. And yeah, it's just amazing that it's open to everyone too. We do have time for some questions. I can see a couple popping up already, but if you have a question, please do submit it now. So first question here we have from Andrew, who asks, the pre-launch report looks really good. Does it do the same checks as the Android accessibility scanner on devices?
Yes, thanks, Andrew, for asking that question. Yeah, pre-launch report also uses the same rule engine, which is accessibility, Android accessibility scanner. And instead of running the accessibility scanner live on the device, developers, when they are submitting their builds, they can go through the same check and discover these issues early before actually publishing the app into the Play Store. Yeah, to answer your question, yes.
Brilliant, thank you. So the next question we have here from Damien. Damien asks, we often learn the most by making mistakes. Have you ever built solutions that backfired and made the experience worse from an accessibility point of view? And what mistakes have shifted your perspective?
Okay. One funny thing I can, so as we touched about the ADC earlier, I mean, may not be related to the technical. So in the earlier slide where Abhipreeti touched about the ADC, so in this picture, for people who can see, let me also visually describe it. So we have Christopher Patnoy, who is the Accessibility and Disability Inclusion Lead. We have myself, Praneeth, and Jyothi and Abhipreeti. So we have on the background a big ADC sign. So our designers want to get creative and they started creating a big sign, tactile sign, so that everyone can touch and feel. And what happened in the process is that we made it so big that, like, not everyone people is tall, and only few people could actually reach to the top. So we realized this, okay, we got a brilliant idea, but we screwed it up. We didn't get it right for the first time. And what we communicated to the design team is that this might not be accessible for everyone. Can you make a lighter version of it? Can you make a little brother of it? So then they've made a very downscaled version of it. So for us, this is one of the mistakes that we learned. We with all the right intentions, we want to build something truly accessible. We know that it is not accessible for many, and then we realize our mistake and then we do something accessible again. So earlier on the slide, when we are talking about people with disabilities and in the design phase, I mentioned a mantra called as nothing about us without us. So we also do this in collaboration with the disability communities, actually learning what the requirements are. We can always imagine that, okay, this might be a useful solution for one with disability, but then in reality, the actual need and requirement would be much more, in varieties are much more important. So yeah, it's actually a to and fro process. Jyoti and Abhipreeti, do you have any share of your experiences?
Yeah, well, I would like to add one more point here. So when we are trying to test something, when we are trying to maybe it's a button. Okay. So I would say everybody have their viewpoint. Everybody have their own way of navigating a website. So when we gather or when we collect feedback, or maybe based on our experience, what we have different understanding. So based on the user experience sometime, so there are situations when we might be thinking that it should be navigated in different way, or it should have been a different label. So there are mistakes, of course, everybody does that. And I believe accessibility is not a one day process. We are not going to do, hey, we are just building it and yes, it will be correct. I mean, I think there's always room for improvement, and it's a process. Accessibility is a process, or to make it accessible product. That journey is something which is learning, and I don't think without mistakes we learn and we make better products. I hope this answers the question.
Yeah,
Jyoti,
accessibility. Yeah, accessibility is a service which is not bound to single solution. So it's always a discussion. There is a lot of scope for discussion and get into different alternative solutions for single thing. So it's not always a mistake. Might be different perception. People might be thinking, and there is different solution for the single feature. So that might not always sound like a mistake, but it's different perceptions and different solutions to the same problem, something like that. Yeah.
True.
Hope we have answered your question.
Brilliant, thank you. I think I can't see any more questions in the chat, so if that's the case, then we will wrap up. Thank you so much for a fantastic talk. That's so interesting to learn about everything you're doing over at Google. And yeah, definitely want to check. I want to check out the Accessibility Discovery Centre.
Yeah, we would love to host you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are expecting more from the community, from the talk which we have done right now. Might be people are aware of it, and then we expect more people to come and meet us personally and explore ADC. So we would love to give a tour on it.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant. I'm sure
Thank
you
you,
get flooded
right.
with emails now.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can see that. Of course, Nicole, do visit us, and we would love to host and give the tour about the ADC and what all we have. Not just this, we are open to feedback, and we would love to get feedback from you. Please do let us know. If we need to do more or we can do better, please do let us know. Share your feedback and thoughts with us.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We will be back in just over an hour at 3 p.m. UK time with our panel on accessibility in the education sector, chaired by Nomenta's co-founder and director of accessibility, Alistair Campbell, and featuring Anthony Fernando, an accessibility expert in education, Janelle Sims of Harvard University, and Jade Matos-Caro of the Open University. And thank you all again for an amazing talk. And yeah, we will see you back in just over an hour. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.
So much. Yeah. Bye-bye.